Welcome to another episode of our interview series. Today with me, I have Alexander Spree van Homwegen. Am I getting that name
Hello.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, sweet. All right, so Spree is an Overwatch League player for the Houston Outlaws. He is from Belgium and has played for the Belgian World Cup team, FaZe Clan, and Luminosity. As well as, if you guys are a little more versed in Overwatch, he is the flex of that team, maining in Diva
Mhm.
and Zarya. So, before we get to the Overwatch specific questions, let's go ahead and ask about some esports in general questions. So I think that this is kind of like a question that, or like an idea that every esports player has had. Like, what sparked your initial interest in esports?
So it all began when I played TF2, Team Fortress 2. I played the game like casually, um, just for fun. But I played a ton of hours. I played like so many hours of Team Fortress 2. Probably like as many hours I've played Team Fortress 2 as I played right now Overwatch
Oh,
hours in terms of hours. So I was like interested just in Team Fortress in general, so I like looked up on YouTube like Team Fortress 2 videos and stuff, like how people like fragged out and stuff. And there were like some videos of like top top 10 plays, I think, top 10 plays of like certain competition video, like it had to be like from esport wise. It had to be like from real like scrims or like matches, like tournament matches. And that's how like I was like interested in the how did they make like Team Fortress 2 like how did they like make it like the competition mode like it's like different from pub games. It was like way different from pub, and that like made me interested in like the competitive mode of Team Fortress 2, which led to being interested in the competition, just like the general competition aspect of games, which led to more YouTube videos of just esports thing like League of Legends and CS:GO, then led to Twitch. I don't really remember how I found out about Twitch, but when I found out about Twitch, it was like that was the beginning of like the pros, like knowing pro players like for their plays, for being like insane at the game and stuff, and that's how it all began when I like also started myself playing League of Legends and also started myself playing CS:GO and getting like really interested in wow, you can actually like be a pro player and get
mhm.
paid for playing games. That's insane. Like I didn't really think I would like be myself. That would be like a dream. But yeah, that's basically how my interest started in esports.
Well, I guess the next question is about your involvement in esports, but I guess the question for that is which game did you start in? Like, which one came first? Did you start in Overwatch, League,
Um,
CS:GO?
so in Team Fortress 2, I played on really bad settings. Like I had like a really bad PC, so I played
Hmm.
like on 30 FPS. So I couldn't like play on the highest level. That was just like it was casual but competitively. It was like lowest level of competition you could have in TF2. So, but that was like my first glance of like competition in a game. That was like I was actually like screaming every day like to try to get better at the game and stuff, like for fun. So that was actually the first time. Then it was just like League of Legends playing ranked matchmaking. Basically just matchmaking, uh like reaching like Diamond 1. But my real like game where I like was involved in esport was Overwatch. It was like just Overwatch. When I heard about the game and I knew that I had to take a chance to like be the best at the game from start, from zero to now, because of the advantage you get as a new player.
So, when do you feel like you've made it in esports? Like, do you feel like you're at your pinnacle right now? Because it sounds like what you just said that Overwatch is like really the first time that you've like made it big, and obviously being on the Houston Outlaws, that is certainly a really good achievement.
Yep. So I think like as a player, I definitely have a lot to prove still. I like right now in the Overwatch League, I basically only showed that I was capable of playing Zarya, which is only like one hero. And I think like as a player, I can definitely show that I'm like a great overall flex off tank player. I can show that I can play every off tank player, off tank hero, and that is something I still have to prove. So, um, yeah, there's definitely that coming up for me as a player to like prove to the public.
So, about your defining moment as a player, like you just mentioned, being able to prove yourself as that off-tank hero player. Do you have a defining moment, or do you think that when you prove yourself to be that all-around player, that will be your defining moment? Or are you still looking for something bigger, or do you think it's already happened?
And there's definitely more to happen for me. Like, there's more to happen to like define me, to have the defining moment. But um, I would consider my current defining moment like being a well-known Zarya player, having like people know me for like being the King's Row Zarya, being the specialist in the King's Row map, like having 100% win rate on King's Row, for example. That's what people define me as.
I mean, that's a pretty good.
Yeah, it's
A
pretty
pretty good
funny. I
title to
like it.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely being specialized. Me myself being a one-trick Roadhog, literally got the GM that way. So yeah, one trick. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we talked a little bit about your esports career, so let's talk a little bit more about Overwatch in particular now. So you started from TF2, you went to League of Legends, you went to CS:GO, but what about Overwatch, outside from an esports like narrative, interested you enough to even just pick up the game to begin with?
So Overwatch. So the interesting thing about Overwatch is that, first of all, because it was a new game that interested me. Because it was a new game, I knew that because of the like rise of a new game, like new engine, Blizzard had really good like reputation in terms of like games. Um, uh, the trailer, like the trailer, and also like the open beta, which was like really long, like interested me a lot. When I was like watching Seagull back then, and I was watching Seagull play a lot because I was really interested in the game, and I knew like from watching just gameplay, like playing different heroes, same style. It was like very similar to TF2. Like in my eyes, it was like very similar to TF2. So I was like, wow, this game looks like TF2 but better. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be really fun. I'm gonna like play this game a lot. I'm gonna like try to get really good. And who knows, this game is gonna be like an esport game, like a really like popular esport game. And it kind of turned out to be. So that's basically what interested me about Overwatch, to like grow as a unique player,
Hmm.
and get a chance to like get into pro scene into Overwatch.
So you mentioned before that you play off tank, specifically specializing in Zarya. What drew you to that off tank role that you have it now?
Um, so first of all, when I started playing Overwatch, I was like playing pretty much every hero in the game because I was just interested in like every hero of the game because, and like that's the start of the game. You like just test everything out. You want to like have a taste of everything. And I was like mostly interested in DPS, of course. Like you want to frag out, like everyone wants to frag out and
Right.
have the spotlight. Yeah. So, but I realized like further away in like when I was playing like competitively in teams and stuff and trying out, that a lot of players want to play DPS. So it was kind of like I knew that it's probably like my chances are lower if I like try to like grind my way up in the scene as a DPS player.
So when you actually
And
started as DPS, when you started trying to
so
push in competitively, then changed to off tank.
so the funny thing actually, I even like played Reinhardt for one of my first team because I played main tank for one of my first team because no one wanted to play main tank. And I didn't do bad at, but it wasn't like my interest. I didn't have like a lot of fun on main tank, and that's when I started off playing a lot of Zarya in ranked, and I could see that I could carry like really hard with with a hero that's like a tank hero, and I was like, this hero is like actually really fun. You're like a tank. You're like a supportive role, like a tank role, but you still like can carry insanely hard with this hero. So it was like it was like a mix of a DPS, but not like the DPS role. So I was like really interested in that role, and that's basically
Just
how I
to
grew as a flex player.
Just
He's
a
an offlane
question,
player.
like, when in like your ranked career did you switch to Zarya specifically as like the carry hero?
I think I just like myself discovered like the hero, like how how was this hero so strong? Like
Oh.
like you like I'm so good with this hero. I'm gonna keep playing this hero. You get full energy every time, and you just kill everyone. That's just how it happened, basically. Like playing ranked and like figuring out, oh, I'm so good at this hero. I'm just gonna keep playing it and win every game.
That's how I felt about Roadhog. I shook everyone and they
Yeah,
die. I'm so good
basically.
at this game. So, how did you enter the Overwatch scene, like specifically? Like when the esports scene, that is. Like, did it have anything to do with the in-game competitive play?
You mean ranked?
Yeah. So yeah, ranked. So did your entry into the
So
esports scene have
yeah,
to do with ranked?
actually, my first like decent team that was like almost competing like tier three almost. I would like consider it tier three team was was it was called Team Project. That was my first like decent tier three team. They actually asked me to play for their team as a like off-tank Zarya player because of ranked. Because they actually like found me in ranked. They actually like saw like this guy like is doing really good in ranked. It's like, yo, you want to join my team? You know, it's like really random, but it ended up like working out really well as like the team we built.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like the first time like I like went into a decent team where I was recruited from ranked. Um, so it like from there, um, I was even like recruited from another team because I was doing well in team project, and basically I grew my way up to Luminosity Gaming after doing really well in Ninjas with Attitude, which was like before Luminosity Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing is that actually, with my team, Ninjas with Attitude, I actually won against Luminosity in like
Ooh,
a Go to Gamer Cup, and that is why they wanted me in their team.
that's
So basically,
awesome.
they poached me. They like because we were stomping them. They wanted me. They wanted the player from the team.
Oh my goodness, that is actually awesome. So that kind of answers this follow-up question. Do you think that Overwatch's ranked play provides good opportunities and a good pathway for skilled players to enter the esports scene?
Yeah, obviously, I think like ranked in general is like great to like, especially like right now, if you're from West Coast, you will play with every pro against every
Oh.
Overwatch League player because the Overwatch League players are queuing up there, and it can like give you like some highlight, like, yo, who's this guy? Like a pro player will be like, yo, this guy's good, and then that's how you like basically begin, as a player from ranked who goes from ranked to a top tier team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the like maybe the only issue with ranked is that the matchmaking is maybe could be like way better. The matchmaking isn't that good in terms of like matching balanced games and stuff, but other than that, it's like yeah, it works fine. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can like level your way up, rank your way up, and uh, fight against good players and get your name up there.
Yeah, that's
It's
a really
possible.
good thing to hear because in game,
It's not. I mean, it's not easy because you have to like be a really high rank, but it's definitely possible.
mhm. It's a good thing to hear because in games like PUBG, like the rank doesn't matter at all in that game. So you have to like
Yeah,
find other
like
ways
they
to rank
don't
up.
like the matchmaking makes a difference. It's all about how the matchmaking can like match you up with the other good players.
Hmm. So you're with the Houston Outlaws right now. Do you have like a team house or like a communal living situation with the teammates and members of the org?
Yeah, we have our office where everyone like meets up to scrim together. It's not ready yet, but it's definitely gonna be really soon. Uh, Hopefully the next week or two. So everyone lives in their own apartment, but it's really close. It's like for me, it's literally I go outside. It's like 1 minute walk, and
Oh,
I'm
nice.
at the office. So it's like really really convenient. And yeah, we have like so much space in our new office. We just need to get like our desks and stuff set up, and then we're gonna be good to like start scrimming there at the office. So yeah, that's gonna be fun and easy to work there.
It's gonna be fun. Do you think it's gonna help like your team synergy in game to have an
Definitely,
office
yeah,
space?
Having a proper space is definitely like needed. Yeah.
And you said that you have all apartments. So you all live close together. Do you think that helps your friendships a lot, like out of game? Like, do you guys hang out a lot? You guys
Yeah,
live
we
so
like
close?
we go sometimes together to get food. I live right now with Dante, so we're like
Mhm.
roommates. So that's also like we're like talk about Overwatch and our scrims and how it goes and stuff. So it's also like good team bonding.
Yeah, that's really good. It sounds like a
fun.
really good living situation.
Yeah, that's fun. It's nice.
All right. Well, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be asking
All right.
Spree over here more questions about his opinions about Overwatch, as well as some more broad esport questions. Come back to you guys soon.
All right.
For Deadeye right now.
Another frag?
Yeah, another frag is coming in.
What?
He's gonna take out two of them. Mime with taking out Deadeye, and Subtle is now down. Oh my goodness, Mime with these frags. How is he?
He's got the
hitting
third
these?
one in, but Subtle is able to crawl down the stairs. Now respecting Mime properly. One player down, one player dead. Evasion now with his own frags. Might be pushing up on his angle. He's tossing frags, Molotovs. He gets another one. They haven't fired a bullet and they're winning this fight. Fuji is the last one up. Eventually pops out and gets two knocks right away. Gumby and Walk both going down. Can Bui Kali Symmetric happen? Oh my god, he was going for the frag, but oh my goodness, he needs to run. This could be a big frag. He chucks it. A big yeet. They're going in and detonating on two of them. A third one. Sweatsky's the last with the blue at his back. A full team at his front and another frag from Mime.
By the stairs, he's trying to get that peek.
Oh,
Nope, he sees it, but not gonna be able to get a shot. But Chroma is gonna go down.
From the top, but Ronan going for 6x spray on the right side. He just pushed up. They didn't see it coming, but it took his entire team going down. The game takes him down. 1v1v1 coming out here. Ripper, the nut. Oh my god, he gets the second one. Ripper getting 2 of the 4 teams left, and now BK going for a peek. Really make it happen. He sees him with the ridge, but that peek.
Here we go.
So goes to the heel. He's in the bathroom. He's in the tub. He's making a ton of noise here, and that's not going to do it. Luckenberry going for the push. Gets the spray down. Claiming the low ground. Oh my god.
Oh my
double
goodness.
Headshot from Darth Vapor with a mini at that range. Solo's one building coming in from the southeast side. He's holding them off. He's almost gotten one down. The barrel recoil not doing too many favors. Actually, this is an AK with a black AK. He is able to take one player down. 6 not a spray and taking the flush on Lusty as well. Retaliate. He's getting the low HP. Hugo the right spot, right time as well. This is a great opening from Liberate.
Yes, Hugo 41 is moving up towards Matteo.
Again to the interview here with Spree from the Houston Outlaws. So just to really start off this section with honestly a pretty difficult question overall. How, in your opinion, does the culture of esports in the United States compare to Belgium? Do you think it has changed significantly in either space since you started your esports career? Like how has it evolved and how is it different between the two locations?
Okay, so like first of all, Belgium is really small compared to the United States, so the scene is obviously like way smaller compared to the United States. It's like it's one of the smallest country in Europe, so esport in Belgium, it's funny because political, like, it's not seen very well. Like, it's not like they're not like, they don't want to, like, I feel like they're doing a good job like hiding it. Like they're doing a good job like you know, they don't want to advertise it. They feel like it's a bad thing. I feel like that's how the Belgian culture sees it. But it's still like growing because there's Belgian players and there's like I think the surprising thing is that there's good Belgian players, and that's what makes it positive. Like that's what makes it like, wow, those like Belgian players are shining. They're like actually like they're doing a really good job and they're like having a good life in esports, you know. And still compared to the United States, it's like almost nothing. Like Belgium is nothing compared to the United States. But I can tell it's like growing just because of having like good Belgian players. I think that's what keeps the Belgian esports kind of like a hope. Yeah, it gives a hope in the and the esport in general for Belgium.
What kind of support have you had getting into this esports career of yours? Because it probably wasn't easy getting from Belgium to the U.S.
Well, that's why. Yeah, I mean, once I was in the LG, it was easy because they were like supporting me as a player. They were like paying for every, like they were the sponsor for me, and they were paying for everything, in terms of like going to the United States to like, or it was Canada, but it was like North America back then, just North America. But it's funny because okay, my family was really supportive, especially my mom, who like kind of like pushed me to like make it kind of my job, like pushed me to like become a, yeah, it was, I really appreciate that for my mother. My friends didn't really believe that I could like do it. Some of them were like, you just try it, you know, like you never know. But because in Belgium it's like no one knows about, like no one knows what it is really. They just like, all my friends, they just learned it from me because I like explain how, like, what is esports and stuff. And school is not in Belgium. They're not really familiar with esports in general. It's like it's just new. Like I'm sure it's like it has been in the news and they're like, well, what is this? You know, like I've never heard of that. I didn't know it's possible that you could be a pro player and like earn money from playing games and stuff.
So a lot of Belgians, like you said, like they literally hide it, culture. It seems like. And do you feel like the U.S. is like more public? Do you feel like it's more accepted? And like, do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, it's a really good thing. I mean.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Esports are awesome. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Esports is awesome. They should advertise it. I think they should definitely advertise it.
I mean, we're definitely getting there, man. Owl is something else. It's
I think
awesome.
yeah, it's really, I think the entertaining part of esports is awesome, and the community is awesome too. Like, why not?
So let's start talking a little bit more about Overwatch specific questions. So as a broad statement, and we can sort of talk about more specific topics as we go out here, how do you feel at this moment about the state of Overwatch as a game? Not like any like the esports scene or anything like that, just from like the gameplay balance or just enjoyment perspective. How do you feel about it?
Um, as a pro player, the big problem about Overwatch has probably always been ranked, like the matchmaking, like how the matchmaking system works in terms of you can like queue, get one tricks, not have a proper comp.
Roadhog one trick.
Like people that doesn't want to flex, that doesn't want to work with their team because they had like bad experiences. You like queue up, you get a completely unbalanced game. Like you get either stomped or the enemy stomps, or you stomp the enemy, or like people are not able to flex because they only play one hero. That's probably like the big problem with Overwatch is like the terms of matchmaking, how they like make the roles like balance healthy, you know, like the balance, uh, the balance and roles, like having the same attraction and roles. Like that's probably like the hardest thing to do probably in Overwatch, like having people like play as much DPS as they play support, or like, you know.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely people like especially in low ranks, people want to play DPS. They want to like have the spotlight, and yeah, Overwatch plus having a bad match, like not a ideal matchmaking, um, makes the game harder to play, to enjoy. But when it does work out, it's really fun. Like the game is really fun. That's probably why I keep playing it, because I play it professionally, and that's where you get the most fun of it. You play with the same advantages as the opponent has, and you
Yeah,
keep
so
like.
what do you think the game does like well specifically? What do you think the game does that no other game does that's kept you here for so long?
Um, I would say the charm, the charm of the game, the design, how beautiful it looks. Like Overwatch looks beautiful. Like the animations, the storyline, even like the story, like the short movies, like they keep you like attached to the game. You know, they keep you wanna like stay with the game and keep like, you know,
Yeah,
they
the
like make
Reaper
you love
one with
Overwatch.
the Christmas one with the Reaper's cookie is adorable.
Also like the characters, like the character, you fall in love with the characters. You wanna be those characters. You know, you wanna like be inside those characters and play as them. And that's what makes me personally love the game too. And honestly, the mechanics and the like the way the game works is fun. Like having ultimates and stuff. Like the game is fun overall. Just like if it had like better matchmaking, the game would be perfect. Like, if it had better balancing, like in terms of heroes too. Like if goats wasn't like a thing for 3 seasons, or dive meta wasn't back then like for 7 seasons straight a thing. Like the game would be way healthier. But I mean, it's probably not easy to balance. But
Well, did you want to talk a little bit about goats now? Because I got a question
yeah,
lined
sure.
up for you there. All right, so how do you feel about goats right now? Is it as easy or hard to play, easy to play and as hard to play against as the community thinks, or is it more complex as it appears? And before you answer real quick, if you're not familiar with goats, it is a composition in Overwatch that uses 3 tanks and 3 supports that is known in the community about how hard it is and to fight against, and just how frustrating it can be to play against it. And it's literally used at almost all levels.
Oh yeah. By the way, you have 15 DPS heroes, but you can't use them because you have to play goats.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. If you don't play goats, you lose. So you
Oh.
have to play 3 tanks, 3 supports.
So like, what's the counterplay to goats? Like,
So,
how do you play
what's
against
the
it?
counter goats? There's, I don't know. In ranked,
Oh,
I don't
no.
think you can. You play goats. You just play goats versus goats. You have to play. The only counter to goats is play goats.
Oh.
That's the issue about Overwatch. It was the same. It was the same about dive comp. There was no like thing that counter dive comp back then. You just play dive comp versus dive comp. That was the meta. So, how do you feel about goats right now? Uh, Actually, I think like goats is pretty interesting in terms of like when you compare for example a MOBA. I would say like I would say Overwatch has come like goats is probably the closest to what's called a MOBA, like in
Yeah.
terms of like strategy, where you have to like communicate with your team, have teamwork. Cooldowns are really important. Mechanically, like aim and stuff. What's like FPS? What's like as defined as FPS is not as meaningful in the like codes comp, but you have to like work with your team. So every other aspect of the game is like really like brought up. You know, like I would that's why like I'm using the term MOBA. Like it's like comparable to a MOBA game where you have to like use your cooldowns wisely. Like cooldowns really important to like not waste and have like maximum value. Ultimate like tracking is really important. Ultimate usage, like having good value of it and stuff. So all the other aspects of Overwatch are like really brought up, which is like really interesting in my opinion. But yeah, it's just that people like don't enjoy it a lot because it's like really repetitive. Like it's all like you only play one comp. I think that's like the only issue with goats, with having that one meta being meta, which is not really healthy for the game, which is understandable.
Yeah, definitely. But you mentioned that the game can feel like more MOBA-y and more FPS-y depending on the comp you play. How do you feel about that? Personally, for me, that sounds like very interesting. How like the flow of the game can feel that different just based on the heroes that you play.
Yeah. That's really. I think that's really interesting, and that's what makes Overwatch like really unique as a FPS shooter. I wouldn't even, like. It's probably like not only like considered FPS shooter.
just
I
like
wouldn't
an
even use the
FPS,
term FPS
yeah.
shooter. It's just like a first-person game. Like I
Wow.
wouldn't say shooter. You know, a first-person MOBA game. Who knows?
Some people happen to have guns.
Yeah. So, yeah, it makes the game unique. So I think it's interesting.
So, do you like playing Flex off tank? You mentioned before that you were playing DPS at first, but do you wish you were still playing off of Flex, or are you happy with where you are now?
Oh, I'm happy with my role. I think it's an interesting role. Once you play one specific role for a lot of time for like years, you become like obsessed with how can I become better and how do you like what do I have to focus on, like what detail what I have to focus on, like what like do I have to focus on positioning, do I have to focus on communication, do I have to like do some things that like can like optimize my gameplay. And honestly, like personally I really like that. I would really like to like go into details in my role and find ways to like get better and
Do you know
see
how much,
like the really slow progress,
Do you know how much time you've put into off tank at this point to have that kind of mindset?
As like in total,
Yeah, like a
or
month
as like
sort of thing. Like how long have you been playing like off tank? Do you think?
let me see. Wait. So
Looks like a long time.
basically since season 2 of Overwatch.
Oh my goodness.
Things. So that's like since like 2 years basically. I think the game is like 2 years old, right?
Yeah, it's just about there, I think, including the beta.
Yeah, almost 2 years of tank.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I played some DPS when it was like season 5, I think, when like triple DPS dive comp was like a thing. The rise of Rogue, their Rogue meta. I played some Pharah and Soldier, but otherwise it was like Basically Diva and Zarya. Diva Zarya
So
for
this
2
is
years.
this is definitely a loaded question. What role in Overwatch do you think is the hardest to play? Is there even like a real answer to that?
Well, I have basically already answered with my like the previous answer of like going into details as your unique role you're playing. So I don't know. I don't think there's like a certain role that takes like necessarily more skill. There's definitely like you're gonna have like more skill as an aim. Yeah, you're gonna have some heroes that are gonna have like a higher mechanically skill gap. Yes, that for sure. There's gonna be like for example Tracer or Widowmaker. They have like really high skill gap because you can have like insane aim, insane um like you can be like super fast with your reaction time and stuff. But as a player and every role, you can always get better and separate yourself to be like from a great player to the best player. Like you can always like there are tons of ways to like improve in every role and like shine.
That's awesome. All right, well, do
Yeah.
you have anything else you'd like to say before we close out this interview? Any shout-outs or anything like that?
Make sure to watch Houston Outlaws in the Overwatch League, and
Yeah.
I'll hope you pay attention to me when I play.
I mean, I definitely will, now that I
And,
know you personally.
I hope I'll be one of your favorite players when I play. See you guys there.
All right,
And
well,
I'm personally like, really excited for season 2, honestly, for Overwatch League with all the new teams. Really stoked and really looking forward to play in it.
is there any team you're looking out for in particular right now?
Excuse me?
Is there any team you're looking out for in particular right now from the new ones?
Paris, because they're all EUs. It's a full
Okay.
European team, so I'm really interested in this team. Yeah, I'm specifically interested in EU players. So that's gonna be dope.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Spree. I'll
welcome.
definitely be keeping an eye on you actually in the Overwatch. Like I definitely watch a ton of that. Everyone should really. It's like one of the biggest
Yeah.
esports going on right now. Make sure you guys join us next time. We'll be having more interviews coming out. And Spree, once again, thank you so much for your time. We'll be seeing you guys again next week.
Thank you.
To get flushed here, he does with the res on his first teammate, going for the push now, but oh god, missing that, just bobbing and weaving, leaning left, leaning right, way too much, and while it's going down, another member from the Wizards does bleed out. Arrows now playing prone, playing the right side, waiting for him to come over here, but reloading at just the wrong time. Livid Sumatra.
Now 2 teams remaining, a 2v3 situation, 13 kills in favor of Mozzie.
It was 15 as Lipson gets the opening knock, the trade coming in, but a 2v1 situation after the trade is exactly what Mozzie is looking for. Smash Base seeing him go for the peek, and now in a 1v1, it's Rita versus Dusty Cruiser. Rita gets the flank and gets the game-winning kill. Walk on the left, and Nims on the right. Seta holding his ground, going now for the res despite the onslaught. And oh my god, the frag coming in at just the right time. Walk TV going in for the punish, spots him out, goes the M4 spray, loses some HP, but gets the...
But the quick shots come out, and now a 3v1, but the position of KOPM completely give it away, and here comes the pressure. Grenades going to be flying out of those windows of the second story as well, trying to do whatever they can, but it's not going to be enough.
Ryozen with a huge play takes him down. Arrows trying to make his own plays work, but a frag bouncing off the body of Karis somehow doesn't kill, but oh no, the second one, that's gonna be enough. As I say that, the Arrows in the building trying to jump peek from the window, gets into the window and shoots him from the sill and is able to get back into cover, not punished. What is going on? They're even crashing in. Easiest kill of Mime's life here. Didn't get any down, so they
So now it's up to Countless. Does he retreat? Does he try to stick the res, or does he try to fend off this? A nice knock coming out on the walk. Now a 1v1 between Nims of Team Hades as well as Countless from Livid.
The jump peaks from Nims with the only spot. Wizards might have done it unless they get demolished by these snakes. That'd be enough. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! The frag from Akko and the third piece onto Dicer does barely go down. I think